Hello, Oasis family. Get ready, because we are going to open up. And it's going to be very soon. In fact, June 28th, Sunday, June 28th, we're going to open up. And let me tell you something. We're here, and this place is looking like a whole new place. Floors are coming in, the rug is gonna be coming in, things are painted. I mean, you're not even gonna recognize this place. It's so awesome. The drip is just about finished, and it's just gonna be a wonderful, wonderful place for you to come, and you're just gonna enjoy it, you're gonna love it. So on June 28th, Sunday, June 28th, we're gonna open up and have our first public service. And let me tell you something, we're taking care of a lot of things. We're going to practice social distancing. We're gonna have masks available. We have an entire strategy to keep our kids safe. But I wanted you to know that this is gonna be a fun day. It's gonna be an exciting day where we're gonna worship, hear the word, and we're gonna enjoy each other's company. So remember, Sunday, June 28th, get ready, because we're opening up. And I look forward to seeing you. God bless you.
Happy Father's Day! Hey guys, everybody, we're so excited that you're here with us today. Today's a super special day because it is Father's Day, and we love our dads at Oasis because our dads are incredible, and we are just so excited to share this day with you. We have an awesome group of dads with Pastor John that are going to be just sharing their life stories and some lessons that they've learned along the way. It's going to be super fun, so we're glad that you're here with us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Let's start our morning off right. Let's just come together for some worship today.
Against all hope, I will believe. Through raging wars, you fight for peace. You have always made a way, a path of beauty you create. And I know your love is strong enough to meet me where I am. Now, as we just continue to worship with this song, I just want to encourage you to just open your heart and remember that God knows you and that He sees you exactly where you are. Whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through right now, that He sees every detail of your life and that He has you in the palm of His hands. And just to remember today that He knows you and He's there for you and you can count on Him. So let's just all just open our hearts and worship Him and connect with Him right now. You have been, and you will be. You have seen, and you will see. You know me.
song is such a great reminder that we need to be intentional about spending time with God. And it's so good because it says, be still. He is God. So just in every situation, no matter what you're going through at home, just remember and be intentional about being still, about taking a second and reminding yourself that He is God, that He is over every situation in your life, and He's going to take care of you. Sometimes we might not feel like that's the situation, but it is truth, and sometimes we just need to speak it into our lives and speak it into existence. Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks for being part of our Oasis online family. I'm so excited that you're here with us this morning. I know that Pastor John has an incredible message for us that's going to edify us and build us and inspire us today. So let's just watch together.
Greetings. We have a very special presentation for all of you today. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about Father's Day, and we're all here together to share some of our experience. We want to have fun. We want to talk about some of our ups and downs because none of us have done this perfectly. But we want to also recognize the mothers that are also doing the father's role. And they really have a tough job, and I'm telling you, my hat goes to them because we definitely want to include you in this, and we want to definitely honor you. So we want to wish you a happy Father's Day. We're going to say things that are relevant to everyone. Because if you're not a father, you're a mother. If you're not a mother, you're a son or child. And so this is kind of like relevant to everyone. So I'm encouraged about what we're going to say. The Bible talks a little bit about in Deuteronomy chapter 6, where God gives instruction to Moses to instruct the men. And he instructs the men that they are to be responsible to instruct their children. So God puts a tremendous privilege on the shoulders of men, on the shoulders of father. And so to us, you know, it's not easy, right? As we know, it's not easy, but it's an amazing privilege. So we want to talk a little bit about that today. But obviously, you notice that I have two gentlemen on my side, both sides. And so I want to introduce them and let you know who they are, and they can share a little bit about themselves. But I'm John, and I've been married for 42 years, and I have 3 daughters. One is 40, the other one's 36, and the other one's 32. And I do have to slip this in there. I have 9 grandkids. And I told my daughters, you don't have to be fruitful and multiply the earth by yourself. So 9's good. Let's keep it calm. So anyhow, how about you?
I'm Ron. I've been married for 36 years. I have 3 kids, my oldest being 35, my middle one is 31, and my youngest is 28. And she has a 3-year-old son, so that makes him my grandson. So
Grandpa.
So yeah, I am a grandpa. Actually, I'm actually Peepaw. So
That's
I
good.
am
That's
doing
good.
that, so.
Yeah, they call me Papa, but that's funny because I'm John, but then they call me Papa, so I'm
okay.
Papa John.
Okay. Papa John. Okay.
Well, I'm Sergio. I've been married for 10 years. I'm responsible for 3 of the 9 grandkids.
Yeah, that's right.
They are 8, 6, and 3, and they are a handful.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we want to basically kind of share about key questions that we selected, and we want to share our experience with people. So are you guys ready for this?
We are ready.
Let's go.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
First question is, what has it been like in these days with the coronavirus and everything? Everybody's shut in. You're working at home, most of us, not everybody. But what's it been like? You know, kids are at home, wife's at home, you're at home. What's that been like?
Well, I think for me, I recently retired about a month ago, so I was an essential employee, so I was going to work as normal.
That's right.
My son, my middle boy, he's resetting himself, so he's been at home with us.
Okay.
So he was an essential employee too, so he
Okay.
was also going to work. So,
Okay.
and then of course my daughter, she's a school teacher, so she was doing
Yeah.
all that type of
Okay.
stuff. So it has been quite normal for me.
Okay.
You know, because when I come home, it's just like it always has been. People, you know, my lovely wife is there. We talk, we do those things, but as far as anything else, that's
Yeah.
about it. Now,
Okay.
but I will say that there was an occasion.
You have
now,
a funny story?
it's not a funny story, but
Okay.
it reached down to the core of my soul and my heart. You know,
okay.
so that's all I'm saying. So anyway,
Wow.
basically what happened was, while this COVID-19 has been going on,
Yeah.
friends of mine, we have been doing challenges.
Okay.
And this particular challenge was a push-up challenge. So I was doing my push-ups as
Okay.
I'm trying to do. It was actually 300, not bragging.
Oh, man, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
But
I'm
anyway,
out.
okay,
I'm
but
out.
anyway.
I'm out.
But my 3-year-old grandson, he saw me doing my push-ups.
But are those full push-ups?
I'm doing full push-ups.
The whole thing?
I'm the whole thing. Okay. Now, not at one time.
No.
But I say all that to say, what really got me and put a smile on my face was that my 3-year-old grandson got next to me
that's cute.
and started doing push-ups with me.
That's cute. That's good. That's
so
good.
Hey, that made me do more. I'm just saying. That's all it was. Because he was all in it. You know,
Yeah,
so
he was
that's
all
what I'm
in.
saying. He was in it.
That's awesome, man. That's that modeling
Yes.
that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
For me, I was already working from home before all of this happened, so my personal schedule stayed mostly the same. I guess the biggest changes that we had were the kids had to be at home doing their school from home, so that was a challenge. Learning all their apps, becoming the family IT guy, to get all the websites up, all the passwords, then losing passwords, and getting upset that someone misplaced the passwords.
Oh, man.
But another thing was my wife, she was working 100% from home. So then she was trying to work, we were trying to do school, and our schedule just kind of shifted because we didn't have to wake up early anymore to drive the kids to school. So I was sleeping in a little bit more, and wifey didn't appreciate that because our youngest son, he likes to get up at 5:30, 5:45, and he's ready to have his cereal first thing in the morning. So we had to come up with a little schedule, one day off, one day on, so we could still tend to him, but still kind of keep some kind of sanity and
Oh,
sleep.
my gosh, man. 5:30 in the morning, that's definitely your alarm clock
Yeah,
right
I
there.
don't set an alarm anymore. He's the alarm.
Well, basically for me and for Karen, we're basically, I most of the time work from home because I do a lot of studying and a lot of preparation there. But what's interesting is that she's at home now all the time. And so, I'm used to my quiet time. I'm used to just kind of, chilling and going at my own pace. And, she gets up, man, and she's like 100 miles an hour, and I'm getting up, having my coffee, and then she's like, hey, what about the remodeling construction project? And, what about how's the budget looking? And I'm like, time out. I have to have my coffee. I can't do this early. So it was, it was a big adjustment, but, and the thing that I loved about it was that I had our 3 grandkids that are close by. I had them with us more. So that was kind of nice, because we were able to enjoy that. So anyhow, what about, how do you create a good, strong, loving influence in the life of your children, but at the same time, we kind of nurture a friendship as they grow, as they develop? That's a big question that we can kind of share our experience and maybe help some people out there.
Well, I mean, that for me, I read somewhere that manhood and Christ-likeness are synonymous.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, somebody said that. I'm pretty sure. And one of the things that I liked about that, and I guess what I look at it as, I'm a man first.
That's right.
And if I do good as a man, I can do good as a father.
That's good.
I can do good as a husband. I can do good as a friend, and I can be good as a brother.
That's good.
So, as I nurtured my kids as they were growing up, we spent time with them. One of the things that they were busy. We kept them busy. My wife and I had goals for them for future. One was to go to college, so we had to keep them in line. So, my nurturing, I guess, was making sure that they could see the right way to do things, the right way a man should do things. And as long as we did that, but we kept them busy. The friendship aspect, I remember many times with my oldest boy, when I drove him to ORU, that was spending that quality time with him, it was just me and him.
That's good.
And then with my middle son, when he was there was colleges were looking at him for football.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
were going to colleges and visiting colleges
Awesome.
and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, and similarly with my daughter, same
Yeah.
thing. When she went to JUCO college and she ended up at Stephen F.
Yeah.
Spending that time with her.
Yeah.
And that took me back to times in which we were traveling.
Yeah.
Because when they were in the car with us, that's when we had that quality time.
That's
And
good.
we were
That's good.
nurturing them, and we were talking, and we were trying to instill in those things the proper things that we see that can get them.
Nothing can replace that quality time.
No, I don't
You
think
know,
so.
I mean, you could buy them anything you want or anything they want,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing can create a great influence by spending time.
Spending time.
But I know you're also busy, and
Yes.
I know you are busy. Valerie, your wife, are also busy.
yes.
So, what did you do to be able to spend that quality time?
Well, we did actually. One of the things that as the kids were growing up, we had devotionals, and those devotionals was centered around dinner time.
That's good.
And at that time, that enabled us to communicate with them. That enabled us to talk to them.
Excellent.
To no TV, no nothing. It's
That's good.
just us, and we're
Yeah.
sitting at the table. And because of COVID-19, and because 2 of my 3 kids are back home, we have started doing that again.
Oh, man,
And
that's good.
what's so great about that, we have transitioned from the kid talk
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
adult talk.
Now it's big people
It's
talk.
big people talk, And I read something today, as a matter of fact. They said, the days are long,
Yeah.
but the years go by so fast. And before you know it, that 3-year-old is going to be 15-year-old,
Yeah,
it's going to be
yeah.
20-year-old, and
That's
all
right.
that. So you want to spend all that time that you possibly can
That's
with
right,
them,
yeah.
and we talked about modeling before.
yeah.
Let them see myself and my lovely wife do those things
Yeah.
that hopefully that when they get to their level,
Yeah.
that they too can be. So we're fortunate enough that we actually see it now
Sure.
because they're old.
Now you see the fruit of it.
Yes,
You see the fruit of it.
that is true.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah, I think like Ron said, one of the biggest things is time, and I think along with that is how you spend that time and being present. And one thing I've been blessed to be able to work from home, so I can pop down and have lunch with the kids. And in the past I'd be gone all day, and sometimes I'd come back from the office when I did work at the office, and I wouldn't be home until they're already asleep. And that was really hard on just the whole family.
That's tough.
But also how we nurture the friendship is you have to really get interested and get involved in the things that they like. So
Yeah.
I'm like an expert on Legos and Spider-Man, which I loved as a kid. So that's been nice having a son to share that with.
I love Spider-Man.
And, slime and YouTube videos. So
Yeah.
you just kind of get on their level, and that's how you cultivate that friendship and you spend that time with them.
In fact, I think I saw a picture of you when you were little, dressed like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And now
yeah.
your son.
He won't take it off. He wears the Spider-Man costume
everything.
every day.
He wears Spider-Man everything.
Yeah.
Spider-Man T-shirts, Spider-Man undies, and it's
Shoes.
like the
Yeah.
guy is Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, he's one of my grandsons. So one time I called him, I said, Leo. And he looked at me, he said, I'm not Leo. I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Spider-Man.
He's definitely introduced himself to strangers and people as Spider-Man, not Leo.
So Sergio, so are you do you know all the cartoons now? I mean, as
Oh yeah.
because
I know even from when they started with the little ones with Dora,
So,
and
yeah,
now we're way up into like Barbies and
Yeah. Hey, you have to connect, 'cause
Yeah,
that's how you connect.
Yeah.
But I guess my experience is similar, and how, I mean, when I started being a father, I realized I have no idea what I'm doing. I really didn't train for this, and I found myself making a lot of mistakes. And that first child. Now I know why the first child in the Bible got double portion of the inheritance, because they got double portion of all the mistakes. So I think God was merciful. And but so our first daughter, man, I just made a lot of mistakes. I was too strong, and I just wanted to create such an influence that I kind of repeated some things that I saw growing up, and then I realized, I don't really know what I'm doing. And so I decided that if God's my Heavenly Father, then there's some things I could probably learn from God as a father. And so I started looking to that, and I got mentors in my life that helped me. And but I think some of the most important things for me was to learn to be more gentle, more calm, to learn to be more transparent with my kids. If I made a mistake, if I was too harsh, to be willing to admit it, and ask for forgiveness. And I think that created a tremendous influence in the life of my kids, because my kids, I thought, well, if I say I'm sorry, they're probably not going to respect me that much, and it was totally the opposite. So I think these things helped me. But the other thing was to learn to respect them. If I wanted them to respect me, I figured out, well, I got to respect them first, and I got to give them that respect. So my greatest goal is that I hope that at some point my kids are able to see a little resemblance of God in the way I treated them, in the way I interacted with them. So I figure if I grow, then hopefully they'll grow.
But I would also say that, it's good for them to see that you're not perfect, especially with you being a pastor.
That's right.
We all fall short. I mean,
Yeah.
we all make mistakes at some point in time, but it's how we respond to those mistakes that we may have made.
Exactly.
And so when they can see that, okay, he did this, but this is what he did to to get back on track.
Exactly.
And I think all
Yeah.
those things are very important as well.
And it gives them the freedom to make mistakes too,
Right.
because then they realize, wow, I don't have to have this tension in my life that I always have to do the right thing, and as a pastor's kid, they have a lot of pressure to try to act perfect, and that's something that I kept telling my kids, don't worry about that. And I even told our congregation, don't even expect my kids to be perfect. So I think creating an influence in the life of our kids and creating friendship is huge. And I think as they get older, then your approach changes a little bit, because now you start treating them as equal.
Yes.
They have equal value, they have opinions, they have ideas that sometimes I didn't like, that I didn't agree with, but hey, they got a brain, and that's how they develop. So
I think you're right. The apologizing to them when you're wrong, I think it builds that trust, and it just deepens that relationship, because it shows them the respect that they deserve.
Yeah.
And so obviously we expect them, when they do something wrong, they're supposed to apologize and make it right. But when we do that and show them the same level of respect, their respect for us in turn grows, and it just deepens that bond.
That's true.
And it's not just someone telling me what to do all the time, but it's someone that treats me like a person, like an equal. So
And
I think that's been huge.
Yeah, that's huge, because I thought, well, man, if I say I'm sorry, they're gonna think, well, look at my dad, But in reality, I thought one day, well, if I don't say I'm sorry, my kids are gonna think, this guy doesn't even know when he does something wrong, man. What's wrong with him? It's like, is he out to lunch or? And so then I realized, when you come clean, there's healing. Okay, guys. So what about the stress and the pressure? I mean, you got work. You got your own personal growth. You have your children, you have your spouse, you have work, you have friends, and then on top of that, these are tough times. But what about when you feel overwhelmed, you feel so much stress? How do you manage your life, and how do you manage to try to maintain some resemblance of some balance or something?
Okay, I think for me, I know for me, I read a book, and it was talking about you need to talk to yourself instead of listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Because there are times in which you're hearing that voice in you that's saying, it could be anything. It's of a negative nature.
Right.
And you want to talk your way out of that. I think in the Bible, I know in the Bible it says speak those things.
That's good.
So I try to speak those things as though they are. That's the way I want them to be.
Uh-huh.
But of course we need to pray.
Yeah.
But my wife, my friends, guys, people that I know that have gone through certain things that I know that I can go to and I can talk to.
Sure.
You have those.
Yeah,
and then
that's
for me, it's exercise. Exercise for me is my opportunity just to go out and just, just go out and just have that's my me time also.
You must have a lot of stress in your life.
I do. 36 years of stress. But just to say that. But one of the things that I picked up, I've been going to the golf range. I went to the driving range.
Okay, it's you and me now, baby. You and me now.
There are times when you have
Come on, sir. You got to get back in it.
You have to crawl before you can walk. I'm telling you, right now, I'm in that stage where the baby kind of stands up and they start whatever. But I can still hit that ball. I can still hit the ball. But so that's another release, from what I understand. That exercise aspect of it is, but more importantly, finding that person that you can really talk to and share those things with.
That's good.
And they can get you back on track, or at least help you get out of a situation. Yeah. And of course, prayer always works.
Absolutely, man. I think that's a good combination.
Yeah.
I think for me, when things get overwhelming, it's usually a sign that there's things happening that are out of my control. And one thing that I've learned is, for me personally, when I feel like things are getting out of control, I need to take an inventory of the things that I can control and start structuring those, so I feel like I'm a little bit more in control. So I start saying when I wake up, I start exercising, I start kind of structuring my day a little bit, and that at least makes me feel a little more centered, and I can deal with whatever else is going on. And I've been running every day, and that's been super helpful. But
wait a minute. You've been running every day for how long?
Oh man,
how long?
I think today was.
Can you count how many days?
Today was 532.
What?
Days of
in a row?
At least 2 miles,
In a row.
Man, that's outstanding. Outstanding. Okay.
That's pretty good.
So it's been helpful, but there's an app that I use, the Nike app, and you have a coach, and you can do these guided runs. And one of the things that he said has helped me a lot. And he said stress is the distance between how things are and how you expect them to be.
That's good.
And so when you deal with things how they actually are, it lowers your stress, because you're not worried about, oh man, this should be different, this should be this, and you can actually deal with whatever that problem is for what it is, instead of like getting out of control, thinking, well, this shouldn't have happened, this I can't control this guy did this to me, my work did this. So that's been really helpful.
That's oftentimes, I think I like what you said about what we expect versus what we find, and I think oftentimes we are not stressed or frustrated by what happens, but we are stressed by what we expect it to happen, and the distance and the discrepancy between those two. For me is, I mean, I have a pretty established routine in my life. I get up and I pray, and I go into my studies and everything. But when I'm very stressed, when I feel overwhelmed, I need time alone to sort things out. So I recharge alone, and I look at things. My wife and I are big planners, and so we plan our lives, we plan our week, and so we look at what we're doing. We look at the structure of our life. I want to be able to spend time with God. I want to be able to spend time with my wife. I want to be able to spend time with my children. I want to be able to spend time with my grandkids, do some exercise, do this, and friends. And it's a lot to take in and try to keep it going. So I structure, like you were saying, I structure my life. I say, on certain days I'm going to do certain things. And it works for me because it helps me to know I'm going to have time for everything as long as I maintain my structure and my plan. And so, but when I'm really, really super stressed out and a lot of stress, I go to prayer, and then I go to the driving range, and I knock as many balls as I can. It just kind of helps to release the stress in my life. But I think the spiritual aspect that we're all talking about, the exercise aspect that we're all talking about, and planning your life, huge principles in order to be able to succeed as a father and be the best that you can be. So let's talk a little bit now about what have you done and what can you do in order to be able to intentionally pass on some healthy values into the life of your children.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a very good question.
That is. I think for me, and one of the things that you've always said at the church was we want to be intentional.
Yes.
You know, and because of that, being intentional, need to be intentional on how you carry yourself on a daily basis around not only your family but others.
Yeah.
You know, so inside and outside, you need to be carrying yourself in a way so that when your kids see you or when others see you, they see the man that God expects you to be and wants you to be.
That's good.
And so I try to be intentional.
Yeah.
Now, am I 100% perfect? No, I'm not perfect.
No?
In any form or fashion. But I give
Nobody
it.
is.
is. But I really strive at trying to do that. I think during conversation, we was talking about even just showing the love for your wife so that your kids can see how you love,
absolutely,
you know, your loved ones.
Yeah.
You know, and then just spend, like we said, intentionally spending time with your kids.
Yeah.
I love hanging out with my kids, you know, and one of the things that I recall was my middle son and I always wanted to be in shape enough so that when he became of an age that we can really play basketball like we really play basketball, I wanted to be there with him to be able to do that. And some many years ago, well, not that long ago, but he and I were playing basketball, and some guys, we started playing 2-on-2 with these guys.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and we whooped them, you know, I'm just saying, you know, we whooped them, you know. So the thing of it was that, you know, spending that time, I was intentional with him. And the same thing with my daughter. I intentionally spend time with her. I do things.
Yeah.
I'm the go-to guy. And I like being the go-to guy.
Good.
And, you know, if they need something, no matter what it is, they know they can come to me. And they don't have to run. They don't have to hide. Just come to me. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't,
of course.
I can't. You know.
Exactly.
So,
Sure. But they have access.
They have
you
access.
know, you've given them that access,
Right.
which that means that they feel free to be able to come to you.
I would hope so.
Which is really good.
Yes.
Well, if they come, that means they feel
Yeah,
free.
hand out sometimes.
for advice and money.
Advice and money, you know.
So who wins between you and him?
Oh, I whoop him. As a matter of fact, I know Leo is 3.
He's 3.
Three.
Yeah.
My grandson is 3.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm not saying anything, but when y'all ready, I know
We're going to put them into a challenge.
532 days.
Oh.
So I'm just saying, you know, I get my grandson ready. I'll take him to the track tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I think one thing that we've done is just we include them in things that we do that align with our values. So I know every year, close to Christmas time, we donate clothes to the shelter. We donate old toys, and my wife makes sure to bring them with us when we go drop them off. Or if she does it during the day, she'll take them and explain what's happening and explain why we do it, because we've been fortunate and we'd like to extend that blessing to people that may not be so fortunate.
Yeah,
and then
that's good.
The other thing we do is we include them in conversations that we have about current events, and tell them what our stance and what our values are, so they know when they're hearing it from us that this is what our family believes, this is what our family does in these cases, this is how we believe people should be treated, and it just creates that culture that they know where we stand, they know what's important to us, and they're included in it. It's not just us telling them, and so we kind of pass it on by showing it to them and including them in what we do.
Yeah, that's good, because I mean sometimes kids grow up sometimes in a home where they don't even know what the values are. What's important, what do we believe, where do we stand, and I think God is so good that he gives us as men, as fathers, that privilege to be able to put that into the life of our kids, and of course not excluding our wives, but it's sort of like the buck stops here, kind of a thing. One of the things that I just learned to do by watching some of my mentors was, hey, model what you want. And I think one specific thing was that I wanted my kids to realize that having that quiet time with God as soon as you woke up was important. And so I always did it in my study. But there was a time when my kids were growing up that I said, well, I'm going to have to do this in the middle of the living room. so that they actually see me. Because if they never see me,
Right.
they don't know I'm doing it. So I would get out there and open my Bible. You know, sometimes it was a little distracting, and I kept saying, well, Lord, you know, I don't want to do it for show, you know, but I want to do it. And sure enough, man, my kids, I never had to tell my kids, hey, read the Bible or do this or do that. You know, that's kind of one of the things that was important to me and to Karen. And I think communicating, you know, like you were saying, Sergio, just having an open dialogue, open communication, and explaining yourself. You know, I know my kids, man, I have the gift to teach, so my kids, man, heard a lot of teachings when they were growing up. And I remember my kids saying, I would tell them, hey, we need to talk. And okay, now, yeah, let's talk now. They say, Dad, how long is this going to take?
Yeah.
You know, how long is this one? Is it going to be a dissertation, or is this going to be a short little thing? But, you know, trying to explain, this is what we believe. This is, you know, how we conduct ourselves and that sort of thing. And I think being transparent, you know, if we make mistakes, then allow them to make mistakes. It's sort of like sometimes fathers and mothers forget what they were like. You know, sometimes parents come to me and say, I can't believe my son smoked a cigar or cigarette. And I'm like, why can't you believe that? You did worse. And they're like, oh yeah, that's true, it's true. I said, well, don't forget. They're exploring, they're trying to grow, and they're trying to break out of the shadow of their mom and dad. But I think creating that safe environment where you could say, hey, we're gonna love you no matter what. Because this is love. This is how we're gonna show you. Anything else you guys want to add?
I
Anything
just
else?
think going along with what you were saying of modeling is, I think a big part of that is like consistency is really key.
Yeah.
Because if they know that, okay, you read every morning, or you do this every day, or you speak this way daily, it's not just a one-time big event. They're like, understand that this is who this person is, and they copy what they see consistently, not what they see once or twice. So I think that's huge, to be consistent.
Yeah, I think the power is in the consistency. You know, it's not just doing it once. You know, if you do it once, it doesn't have any real impact. And you know, remember people. I remember sometimes I would hear people say, you know, don't do this, but then they would be doing it, you know, like parents would say to their kids, how dare you smoke? How dare you take my cigarettes? And then they're over there smoking up a chimney, you know. But, you know, so you know, the power is in the modeling and in that consistency. So I think we're going to wrap it up. And basically what I want to say to wrap it up is that being a father is probably the greatest privilege that we have. It's probably the greatest opportunity that I will ever have in my entire life. And I take that to heart. And it's an amazing privilege to be able to do your very best, even though nobody's perfect. You know, we've all made mistakes, but to do your very best to raise a child that you feel proud of and you feel that is growing in the area that they need to grow. I think that when we impart into our children, we're doing what God said. We're doing what God said to do. We're actually raising disciples, people that have been taught, trained, and molded into healthy values so that they can become healthy, responsible human beings and contribute to the betterment of the world. And so I want to encourage you as you're watching and listening that God has a great plan for you as a father, as a mother, as a son, and you can count on God. And He will lead you if you allow Him to. And one of the ways that He can lead you is, number one, you can read the Bible and see the heart of God as a father. You can hang around with other men, other people that are going to pull you up and encourage you in sharpening your sword as a man, as a person. And then just get around people that are growing, get around people that want to learn, get around people that will be able to support you in your journey. God the Father, in my opinion, is the best teacher, and he will be there for you if you call on his name. And he said, I'm sending Jesus, and Jesus is going to show you my heart. And so my call to you is to open your heart and say, Jesus, I need you. Show me how to grow in this area so that I can be the best thing I can be. And so we want to thank you for being here. Thank you guys for being here, sharing your heart, putting it out there. And we just want to wish you a very, very happy Father's Day. God bless you. Happy Father's Day.
Hey everybody, thank you for being so faithful with your giving here at Oasis Church. I know that we've been able to help so many families because you've been faithful and because you've been giving consistently. So thank you so much for that. I want to share a scripture with you guys that's found in Isaiah 41:10, and it says, "Do not be afraid, for the Lord is with you. Do not be dismayed. I am your God, and I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my right hand." So just trust in God that He's going to take care of your every need, every situation. He's going to strengthen you when you don't feel strong, and He's going to uphold you right there next to Him. So you are victorious in everything that you do. So just be faithful in your giving. I know it's super easy. We have our app, Oasis DFW, which you can give with just a click of a button, or you can click the link below this video and give through that as well. So now we just have some announcements for you guys. Hope that was really fun for you guys to watch and just enjoy hearing from our dads. And again, happy Father's Day to all of our incredible dads out there. And be sure to give your dad a call today if you haven't talked to him today yet, or in a while, and just tell him how much you love him and wish him happy Father's Day today, because our dads sacrifice a lot and they give a lot for us. So, and we have one more really awesome reminder. Next Sunday, on June 28th, we're going to be back together again
in person, in service, in our building, and we cannot wait. So we know you've been getting info about what that's going to look like, but we just want you to know we can't wait to see you guys in person next Sunday.
We are so excited just to be all together again. This has been an amazing journey here on Oasis Online, but we're so ready to just come together. So we will see you next Sunday. Make sure you check out the kids video at the end of this video, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.